So hi, welcome to Noise Podcast. I'm Shane,
I'm Glory.
and we're here with,
I'm David from Filth.
and we have some questions to say about the upcoming album Southern Hostility. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the
Thank you.
response to the announcement so far?
Everything's looking pretty good. It's been pretty strong. Chin Check kind of blew us away with how quick it took off when we dropped it. So very exciting.
Hell yeah. The album fucking rocks, especially,
It's
what is it,
insane.
Severed? I really like that
Yeah.
song. Hell yeah. Of
Thank you.
course.
Thank you. That's awesome.
So, is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
Southern Hostility. I mean, it was just that would be more of a Dustin question, sadly. He named the album. The album art, though, we just wanted to go with something that was more fitting, I guess, to where we came from. That felt old school. That felt, Southern North Carolina. You know, and just we just kind of come together with the album artwork. It was just ideas that we popped off. We had a bunch of different ones, and that was kind of the final one that won everybody over. It was simple, but kind of just felt right.
Gotcha.
Makes
And
sense.
does the album art and the name of the album come once you guys package the album together and it's finished, like the tracks? Or were you?
Yeah,
Okay. Gotcha.
yeah. Well, the album was called, I don't know, 40 different things before it finally like settled in. I mean,
Yeah.
we've been working on this album for 2.5 years, so it's changed titles and everything has changed a bunch for it.
Gotcha. All
We
right.
finally settled on what it is.
Hell yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for the album?
Um, so we went back to Greg at Chop Art Studios in Texas. Um, the idea behind it was to kind of just go back to what started or fueled us all to be musicians. That's why there's a lot of the new metal feel, I guess, if you want to call it,
Mhm.
throughout it. Hip hop and stuff's a big thing for Dustin and myself. Um, it was mainly just like, hey, let's go write an album that we're going to have fun with that feels like stuff that we grew up on a little bit, but still
Mhm.
kind of keep it in the vein of what Filth is and not just write an album that's heavy to be heavy for the heck of it.
Yeah.
Makes
So
sense.
just
You
go on.
mentioned, did you guys write the record in the studio? Is that what I'm picking up on?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Any sort of
Yep. Yep.
like writing outside of it, like coming in with ideas, or was it just like, we're going to write a record with X influences and you wrote everything starting from the first note in the studio?
I had 2 or 3 riff ideas before we got there, and that was it. Everything else was, hey, let's just see what happens.
All right.
It was the four of us and Greg, the producer. We just sat down and just started hashing at it. But we made 3 trips down there, so in total we were there for 6 weeks at 3 different occasions working on it.
Gotcha.
So it's just hashing things out.
And
Hmm.
do you guys prefer that writing versus writing outside of the studio and bringing it in?
Yeah, I do. Me and Dustin, we've been doing that for a while. It works well. Everything it like you if you're just sitting there writing and you throw down a riff and everybody's like, oh my god, everybody loves it, right then and there that's what you need to keep.
Yeah.
So to be together and to be writing and everybody feel it at one time, especially laying down vocals, lyrics and stuff like that, if everybody gets excited about it when it goes down, we know, okay, this is it right here.
Hell yeah. Plus,
Keeps the feel real.
yeah, and you're
For
capturing
sure.
that energy as it's happening.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Exactly. And you said kind of going into the album, you guys wanted to make a sound that was reminiscent of things that you guys grew up listening to. Are there any like particular inspirations or influences that you could name drop for us?
For me, as cheesy as it sounds, Limp Bizkit is to
Fuck
this day
yeah.
still my favorite band.
Wearing my biscuit hoodie today.
Of course he fucking
Still,
is. Yeah.
still my favorite band to this day. But no, I mean for me, I was, that was a huge influence. And I started playing guitar when they kind of hit their prime. Them and Corn were big for me. Lamb of God was big as far as like, riffing and stuff like that.
Hmm.
DL, the vocalist of Bad Wolves, he used to be the guitar player for the Casey Strain. Huge
Okay.
influence for like how I play and the heavy side of everything.
Hmm.
Um, and then not and then like, 90s hip hop was cool. That was a big thing.
Yeah.
I'm a big Ice T fan, Ice Cube, stuff like that. Just kind of and Dustin, he kind of is in the same realm as I am, so that's where a lot of his inspiration for lyrics and stuff come from.
Gotcha.
Sounds good. Thank you. So, what song off this album took longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
State Gutter took the longest to write. That was the most experimental one, I guess. Maybe not as far as like the riffs and stuff in it, but everything else, the vibe of it, the beat, the hip hop part and stuff in it, that took a while. It took a while to write.
Mhm.
Um, Favorite tracks, I mean, it's hard to just put it down. Um, I would say Chin Check is definitely up there. There's a track called Infidel, the first track on the album. That one is
Mhm.
super fun. And there's another track called Cement Shoes that was really fun to write too.
Mhm.
Nice.
It's hard to narrow it down to one.
Yeah, that's fair. So you said it was Stay Guttural that took the longest to write?
Yeah,
Yeah, so what about that? You said it took a while because you were doing so many different things, so many new things. What
yeah.
made you keep pushing and going instead of saying, okay, this is taking too damn long. Let's just move on to something else?
Well, once we found the beat that we liked,
Mm,
we took it. It took a while because we wanted to find a beat that we felt that felt good, and then we had to kind of feel how we wanted to structure around it with
mm,
guitar and everything. And it took a little while, but once we kind of like found what we were going for, it all just kind of fell in place. It
yeah,
was just like once we got the riff around it, and then heard everything together, it was like, oh wow, yeah, this is it. Now we need to keep pushing and finish the song out. And
gotcha.
then tracking vocals was challenging too because it was the first time really stepping into that lane,
Hmm.
of different stuff.
Gotcha.
Makes sense.
So how did the track list for the album come about? Did you guys write the opener be the opener, closer be the closer, just shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
Um, Strangely enough, the track list for the album is exactly how we wrote it from song one to the end.
Oh shit.
No
Like,
way.
yeah, we just wrote songs as we were going, and I guess from being in the studio and messing around with stuff, and then listening to the album in that order for so long, it was just like, you know what, this feels right. We don't want to change it, and everybody agreed on. They were like, yeah, we've been listening to it like this for so long. Let's just keep it in this order. It just flows well. So then Greg just kind of did a little bit of this to make sure everything automates, well together.
It,
Makes sense.
it's crazy that it does flow so well, that there was like no thought put into it, but the album still flows very well. You guys were just like, that's how we wrote it. I don't know, whatever. Yeah.
Well, and it was funny because while we were writing it, we were like, oh no, this track right here could be the opening track. Oh, this track could be the ending track. This, and this. And then finally, after it was all done, we were sitting and listening to the master of it. It was like, man, no, this is it, just the way it is. It's just gonna
Yeah,
stay.
that's fucking awesome. I love that shit. So would you be able to tell us where your headspace is at while you're creating this record?
um, as far as mine was, I was me particularly. I was just going through a lot of stuff at that time in life, and I think I was just angry if
Mm,
I'm being honest. Just then
yeah.
I was trying to portray that in my writing and just trying to get some stuff out. Dustin, I don't know particularly what he was going through at the time, but me personally, I was just very pissed about a lot of things. So I was just trying to portray it in that music and just get it all out in the feel of that.
Gotcha. I think
Makes
heavy
sense.
music's a good outlet for that. You,
Yeah.
you get it
Yeah.
out. I was even like, because I was standing, walking around, doing my thing. Even I was swinging my arms a little bit while I was doing my thing, listening to the album this morning, because that's just the energy it gives. So
Mhm.
Yep.
you got that anger out good, I think.
Good.
Mhm.
That's what I was hoping for.
Hell yeah. So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should I do it in the car with friends and talk with headphones on? Is it a workout album, party album? What do you personally recommend?
Oh man. I mean, it's personally, I mean, if it was me and I was picking it up, I would be sitting in my car blasting it, driving down the road by myself just so I can fully vibe it out myself. But I mean, in the gym's a good way. Start from track one, go to the end, just let it roll. Don't skip around. Start from one, go to the end, and let it all play out. That way, you can feel the vibe throughout the whole thing.
Hell yeah.
Damn right. Sounds good. So this one should be super, super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less.
Heavy, pissed, energetic.
Damn right.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
perfect. All right.
Perfect.
And in that same train of thought, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want listeners to have while going through the album?
Um, I don't know. I mean, I hope that they can just listen to it, enjoy it, and maybe if they're going through some shit one day, they can put this on and they can just let it out. Yell along with it in their car, whatever, vibe to it in the gym, whatever makes them feel good. Just get whatever it is inside of them out, and
Gotcha.
whatever maybe making them upset for the day. Listen to the album, feel better.
So you just
Yeah.
want people to like have a cathartic experience, no matter what the emotion may be, while
Yeah,
listening to it.
anything, man. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what, just as long as they enjoy it some way or helps them in some way, that's all that matters.
Hell yeah.
Sounds good. So, are you able to touch on any particularly challenging or standout moments from the creation of this album, positive or negative?
Um, yeah, well, since so we're from North Carolina and the
Mhm.
producer is from Texas, so there was a lot of travel back and forth, and I think that also kind of helped in the writing a little bit too, because driving 18 hours one way in the middle of the night is tough. So you get there,
Yeah.
you're at, it's 2 in the afternoon when you finally get there and you sit down in the studio and it's like, all right, let's start working. And then you just start hashing things out and you're just pushing and pushing and pushing. I think that probably helps to the overall like aggression of the album. By that point, you're so exhausted and tired that you're just giving everything you can to try to get something wrote, so you can pass out and move on to the next day.
Hmm.
That's fucking
So,
crazy.
what is it about your particular producer that you chose for this record that you would drive 18 hours in the middle of the fucking night to work with?
Yeah.
He Greg's incredible. He's easy to work with. We've done a lot of stuff with him. He's um he's a couple years older than us, so he's from the same era of music. He understands the same feel. Um, I don't know. He pushes me in a different way of writing than other people I've worked with, and
Mm.
um, I don't know. It's just nice, and he pushes Dustin as well as far as vocals to try different things. Uh, he's just um he's just rad to work with. And you walk in the studio, you sit down. It's a nice vibe. The lights are set easy, and there's not a whole lot of stress. It's just chill the whole time. And you just do your thing. It's definitely worth. And the outcome of he's constantly growing as far as like his mix and master, his editing, and everything. The way his sound is developing, he's finding his own sound, and it's just absolutely worth it for us to go there and grow with him and see what he can help push us into being.
Hell yeah.
Makes sense.
Oh
Love
yeah,
it.
love that. So for this question, I want you to picture you're on tour, you're at a gas station for a rest stop. What is your snack of choice?
I would have to say probably beef jerky, and I mean I eat jerky all the time, and probably like a one of the coconut by waters,
Ooh, all
something
right.
simple like that. Yeah.
All
Damn
right,
Now
right.
if there's a McDonald's there, we're all gonna get a double cheeseburger.
fair
Of
enough.
course. Yeah, damn right. Those body armor, coconut water body armors, those are my
Yeah,
favorite as well. Yeah, those are
yeah.
fucking incredible. There was a time where it was like I was chugging like three a day. That was like at the
Oh,
peak of our podcast. It was awful.
they're incredible, especially after you've been sweating playing a set, man. You need to refuel. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
exactly. But the thing is, the difference between that and what I was doing was I was just sitting here. So like I was not sweating.
Yeah, but they
For
taste
the
good.
exactly for the beef jerky, what flavor do you usually get?
Peppered, just the regular peppered flavor, either regular or peppered flavor is my two favorites.
Damn
It's
right.
pretty simple.
Hell yeah.
Exactly. Makes sense. And on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be and why?
We'd be a big fat steak and a baked potato.
Damn
We're
right.
just thick and meaty and heavy.
Hell
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
All right. And for the last couple questions, we're going to shift completely away from music and go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
I don't know. I would probably be steak, potato, a salad, and um, a nice big glass of Guinness. That'd probably be my preferred choice right there before I go out.
All
Sounds
right.
good. Hell yeah. And if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
I don't know. I mean, and this may be not so in the vein of what you're asking, but I really enjoy like the Viking era
Hmm.
back in the 700s and stuff like that. That era, I think it's awesome. You
Yeah.
know, the way they dress, the way they, everything about it, I think is interesting.
Yeah. Damn right. Well, you got the beard for it, so
Yeah,
I feel like you'd fit right in. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. All
Hell
right.
yeah.
I have the honor of asking the last question. Every single person that we've spoken to have said that it is the most important question. What's your favorite color?
Blue.
There you go. Specific
Particular
shade.
shade of blue? Yeah.
Uh, not really. I mean, I don't want to be that guy and say Carolina blue, but blue.
All right.
Well, there you go. You just did. There you
Yeah.
go.
All right. So as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you'd like to plug?
Um, we appreciate everybody that's just taking the chance to check the album out. This was kind of like we were going to give it all for this one. If this one wasn't going to do anything, then we were probably going to step back and not try to and it'd just be more of a hobby than it is.
Mhm.
what it is now. So everybody that's listening to it, everybody that's bumping it, everybody that's checking it out, it means a ton to us. We appreciate it. Please keep streaming it. And we hope to see you on the road soon.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Snow. It's been David from Filth, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.